Hey guys, it's me, Yaya. What's up? Okay. All right, you guys know how much I absolutely love return guests. And I have a return guest because she has an update. She has an update. Just think about this. March 28th. It's a very special day. It's a really pivotal day. And it's a pivotal day for my guest. And her name is Melody. And that is a beautiful name. Why? Because it's my granddaughter's name too, Melody. Yes, yeah. So, you know, great minds think alike, but I didn't name her, so it's okay. But I have her back on the show. Melody Davis, thank you so much for being back here. What's up?
Hey, Yaya, I am so glad to be able to chat with you again. A lot's been happening, so let's catch up.
Wow. Let's catch up. Okay, so I had to mention a date. And I mentioned the date because there's something that happened on that day.
Yeah,
What happened on, I want to make sure I say it, March 28th. What happened on that day?
yeah. I made a pivotal and bold move.
You
I
did.
just, I did. I decided to leave a great paying corporate job to pursue my passion and to take a deep dive into my passion. So I left on March 28th and no regrets because now I'm
Mm.
able to take a deep, full-time dive into my passion.
Girl, I
Yeah.
know how you feel because I did the
Yeah.
same thing 2 years
Yeah.
ago. And I never look back at people who were like, oh, you're going to need a job.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. It was, it was a bold move, and some
Yeah.
people, call me crazy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe scratch their head.
Mhm.
Not the thing is, I prayed about it, and this has been in the works for, I'm being honest with you, for probably about a couple years now. My husband and I, we chatted about it. Definitely prayed about it. And, and then you start doubting yourself. Am I making the right move? Am I doing this? The economy is doing this. Am I doing this? Am I making this right move? But then the end of the day is like, you have one life to live and you need to just live it to the fullest. And that was basically what we ended up with. And my husband gave me his blessings. And I just took that deep dive, leap of faith, and I did it March 28th.
Girl, that sounds just like me. Like you repeated everything that I did. I just was like,
Right?
I did the same thing. I left the corporate world and I went
Yeah.
straight and I dived right into my own thing and I've never looked back. It
Yeah.
is one of the scariest things that you've ever done
Oh,
because
yeah.
there is no really like definitive security.
Right.
It's all in what you can do. And I'm sure you can do it, Melody, because you've been doing this so long, girl.
Yeah.
Please, please.
Yeah. I know. I know. And that was my husband. He's like, you owe it to yourself. I mean, I
Yeah.
wrote my first song when I was 7 years old. I've been singing literally all of my life.
Hmm.
And it was like, it was a bold move, but yet easy. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And, I see so many people going to their grave and not having to pursue their passion or didn't pursue their passion to the fullest or maybe even didn't get started with their passion. And
Hmm.
I don't want that to be me. I want to be able to, and I may not be able to fulfill my entire, everything that I want to do. But I want to get a jump start and definitely take a dive into it. And I believe I'm on the right path in doing so.
Girl,
Yeah.
you just said it. You said it. I
Yeah.
said, I told somebody at one point, I said, where is the biggest knowledge base on earth?
Mm, yeah.
The
I agree.
grave.
Yeah. You got it.
The
You got it.
grave.
It
People
is.
take those talents to the grave. I
Yeah.
said, I cannot do that. I want
Yeah.
to leave my talents above ground
Yeah.
as
Same.
much as possible. And so I commend you. Definitely
Thank you.
something that I would have done regardless of my situation. And
Yeah.
actually, right after, like right at the tail end of COVID, is when I quit my job.
Ah,
I was
okay.
like, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done. I'm done. I
Yeah.
can't do this no more.
Yeah.
And I think my husband said the same thing, baby. You owe it to yourself. If this is
Mm,
what you want to do, I'm behind you 100%. We'll figure
yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
And there you go.
That's
Mhm.
exactly what my husband said. We'll figure it
See,
out.
we'll
And
figure
it's
it out.
like, but isn't it a blessing to
Yes.
have it? I just want to take a pause to basically thank both of our spouses for
Yes.
supporting us, allowing us to take that quantum leap. You know what I mean?
I
Some women
do.
don't have that support, but I am so blessed to have a soulmate, a partner. my person that supports me in everything that I do. We support each other because he has his own business too outside of work, because he'll be making his transition next year, but he's like, you first and then me. But he is so supportive. He's actually now
Yes.
my manager,
Oh,
and so, but congratulations that we have these men of faith that support their partner.
oh,
So
yes,
yeah, yeah,
definitely,
it
definitely.
means a lot. Yeah.
It does mean a lot, and I'm unbothered by that. Wait a
But
minute.
yes. I
Wait
see
a
what you did
minute.
there. I see what you
Wait a
did there.
minute.
Hey, I see what you
Because
did there.
wait, now the same day,
Same day.
I believe in it. Was it the same day?
It was the same exact
Girl, I'm
day.
so unbothered by that. You don't even
Come
know.
on
It
now.
was the same day. The same
Same
day that you
day.
left, you dropped your single unbothered. Tell me
I
about this.
did. I did.
Oh,
Originally, it was not planned that way,
mm-hmm,
but after a series of events that happened on the job that accelerated the date,
mm-hmm.
and I told my husband, like, huh, it'll be great if I resign on the day that my single Unbothered drops. And so, yeah, so that's when my single,
I'm sorry. I'm all excited. It's not even my single, but I'm like
right.
unbothered by this. I'm like,
Come
yes.
on now. I know. I know. And that was my mentality is like I'm unbothered. Again, some people were like, how could you do that? I mean, you were getting paid an excellent, excellent salary. And I was, I was really blessed, But it's like I didn't have a life. I wasn't able to do my passions. I'm working 10, 12-hour days, sometimes even on the weekends, thinking about it. We love traveling, thinking about the job, and we're talking about it while traveling. I'm like, something got to give. I don't want
Yeah.
my marriage, number one, to be the pillow talk or over breakfast or over dinner, just about the
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5, and instead of the passions. And I know, everything, life itself, there's a level of stress. But
Oh.
we were like, this is a controllable stress. We're in a
Mm-hmm.
good place. Again, this wasn't a brash move. We've been thinking about and praying about this for over 2 years. And so, and I had still been releasing music in the interim, but not as much as I'm about to do now. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to, and it was really, to be honest with you, Yaya, it was self-healing for me to release it on the 28th, as well as resign on the
Oh my
28th. And it
God.
was, it was, it was a healing process. So, so yeah, I released this great single, Unbothered. My son, J-Trax, Justin, is his name. He produced it,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, so we dropped it. It's doing well. Just dropped the video yesterday and now have
What?
over 5,000 views in
Wait,
less than
hold on a second.
24
You dropped the
hours.
video. You ain't even tell me what you dropped the video. You ain't telling me how you gonna drop a video and then tell
I know, I know, I know, my bad.
me.
Everything has just been happening so quickly because, girl, here's what's happening. Now that I have this copious amount of time, I'm
Uh-huh.
able now to throughout the day just do this and do marketing. I'm pretty much for now my marketing team. So, I have a
Mm-hmm.
videographer, photographer. So we have a small team now, but it's growing. But so yeah, so yesterday my son is like, Mom, you're getting a lot of views. Go ahead and drop it, and
Mm-hmm.
I dropped it, so it's available on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Melody Davis Music, and yeah, it's on the YouTube. And I'm also, I know we'll talk about this later, but it's also available on all platforms. The new single Unbothered. So yeah,
I got it. There it is
all
right
right,
there.
that's it. That's it. Yep.
It's unbothered. Girl, I am unbothered by this too.
Thank
Um,
you.
hello. Hello.
Uh, Girl,
Oh,
it's like almost like my national anthem on the 28th, my March
I tell
20th
you.
national, you know, and it's like, you can control some things you can't control in life, but some things you can. And my husband and
Mhm.
I, we always talk about we're gonna now start taking advantage and start um handling those things that we can't control, rather.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, say, like I said, the 9 to 5.
Mhm.
He's like, I got you. We're financially secure. Like I said, we were able to plan it out. Wasn't a brash move. So I'm not saying that to every person out there, just quit your job and go full time. It has to be a plan in place,
Thank
because as
you.
as we know, as indie artists,
Mhm.
We don't get a lot for streams. You got to get in the millions to get a decent income on streams. But as an indie artist just starting now, even though I know you and I have been in the game for decades,
Yeah,
you still got to have that
I have.
supplemental income. So,
I have.
right. I know, right?
It is funny though. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
It is funny. I mean, time goes by so fast. You're having such a
Hmm.
great time. You really truly love what you do. The music
Yeah.
is like in you. You don't realize that decades have gone by
I know.
and that
I
you've
know.
been in this music industry for a good minute.
Yes. Yes.
I think that, dropping that single, going after your goals and your dreams and having a plan in place is the perfect way to get out of stuff that you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that. And I agree with your decision to actually go after your dreams and your goals. You're
Yeah.
right. We live once. And we don't, and we have a very limited time here on this earth
Yeah.
that we can actually enjoy our gifts. And if you're giving your gift to someone else and continuously doing that by
Yeah.
funding and giving your gift to someone else to
Yeah.
fulfill their dreams, I would say that there is an out. You just have to make sure that the out that you're going for is developed enough to give it to you.
Exactly. I mean, I
Mhm.
could have said it better myself. You're absolutely right. You have to make sure that everything is in place. I mean, definitely have it planned out. I know some of the young people are just going, full squaddle and just, quitting their job and doing the, entrepreneurial thing and being an influencer. And if that's what drives you and you believe you can do it, go for it. Hey,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm a little bit old school. It took us a few years to plan it out and says, okay, well, let's do this, let's do that,
Mhm.
before making this quantum leap, per se, and doing so. But again, now that I've been off for what, about 3 weeks now, it's like, maybe I should have done this sooner, you know.
I mean, when you get the freedom
I
that
know.
it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think about it, I'm going,
Yeah. Exactly.
duh,
I know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, one of my best friends, she texted me yesterday. She's like, how's retirement going?" And I'm like, "Dang," I'm like, "I should have done this sooner," you know.
Mhm.
But no regrets, and
Yeah.
again, the job that I had, it funded my passion. It
There you go.
funded the passion. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yep,
But
I do.
but now we're blessed to be at a place in our life, financially,
Mhm.
where I can now pursue it full time, and that's what I've been doing.
Mhm.
It takes time to get rid of those shackles, those corporate
Yeah,
shackles per se, and get in a middle
yeah.
space to be creative again. But I
Mhm.
feel that happening now, and girl, again, no regrets. I'm able to get up and work on the craft. And I hired a vocal coach because, we all, even the Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, and Whitney
Oh, yeah.
Houston, they all had vocal coaches. So
Oh,
now I
yeah.
have a wonderful vocal coach and just, enhancing the craft.
Mhm.
So enhancing the voice. So yeah, so able to take a deep dive into doing that, and definitely now in that mental
Wow,
space. Yeah, yeah.
definitely. And I see that you have, like, lots of videos. I'm already subscribed.
All right.
But
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
So
you
much.
have a lot of cool things going on in your life. You have a lot of music going on and
Yeah,
things that you've done. I mean, you've
yeah,
been in this for a minute. These are your
yeah,
releases. I mean, people don't
yeah.
realize and that, the love of your craft, it makes a way for you, but you also got to
Yeah,
make a way for it. And you've made a way for it too cuz you got more music coming. Tell me
I
about
do.
this. Okay,
I
cuz
do.
I'm a little bothered about that, but it's okay.
Right, right, girl. See, you doing your thing too. See, I'm following you too. I've been picking you and trolling you on IG too. So I know
Ah,
you. I know you're a fantastic singer
thank
and
you.
songwriter. Yeah. But no, so yeah, so we have more music coming out this year. So my son, we built a studio in our home. And so my son, again, J Trax, aka Justin, or aka J Trax, his name's Justin, and he's a genius. He lives in Atlanta, and so he flew here, and we recorded several songs in February and March. And so the first one that we did this year and released is Unbothered, but we definitely have some. I'm just so excited about the other music that will be released later this year. And so, yeah, so it's great. He is one that does not take it easy on me. And sometimes, we have a battle of the mind, in the studio. Like he's like, "No, mom, you can do it. You can do it." And this, what I can't, well, I don't even want to give away the title, but this one song was the hardest song that I've ever, ever sang before or recorded in my life.
Mm,
And I cannot wait for it to be released. But I'm excited. The songs that I write, a lot of them we collaborated on, and some of them that he wrote and produced. But I want him, and I told him, push me out my comfort zone
yeah,
because he's younger than me, and I know he
yeah.
has more insight as far as what appeals to the younger crowd now versus my
Mhm,
generation.
mhm.
So I'm like, I'm willing to do it, but there were times, it got kind of heated, and it's like, okay, let me just take a
Listen,
break,
listen, boy, I'm your
right.
mama.
See, you know,
Boy, just try
right.
me.
I know, but I think he's like in the studio, we're
Yeah,
just partners, where
that's it.
it's no mother and son relationship,
No.
but there were times I'm like, okay, give me 5 minutes, I gotta go, and take a woosah moment, you know,
Woosah.
yeah, right, right. Then come back and because as an artist, this, your voice is warm. I'll speak for me, and I believe it may be the same for you in the evening
Mhm.
times, you
Yeah,
know. And so to be
yeah.
honest with you, I recorded these songs when I was working 9 to 5. I get off work and then, I'm kind of like learning the song on the spot if he wrote it or if we collaborated on the song. Sometimes
Mhm,
I didn't really have a lot of time to practice or my vocals were really tired after
mhm.
working because when I was working 9 to 5, I conducted a lot of meetings throughout the day.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I had to work around that. But again, I cannot wait for y'all to hear the new music that'll be released later this year. It's going to be
Yeah.
fantastic, and I'm
You're gonna have
excited.
to tell me. You got to send it to me and let me know so we can go
Okay,
ahead
okay,
and make sure that we highlight that here on with
absolutely.
you. Definitely, definitely. Oh my gosh, girl. So
Yeah,
okay, so now you know the question that always comes up at the end of my shows.
yeah,
You left your job
yeah.
on March 28th. You dropped Unbothered because it just doesn't bother you anymore. Okay.
That
You gotta go after your
see,
life, you gotta go after your dreams. What
yes,
do you advise people? Because you just can't drop your job. I mean,
right,
but what do you
exactly.
advise? How did you go about doing it, and what kind of advice do you give a person that wants to do the same?
Yeah. And you know what? And to be honest with you, I'm about to, because my son is like, Mom, you've been in this industry over 50 years, and I have.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to create a journal as far as,
Mm,
what you've done since you wrote your first song at 7, and then how, I started out singing gospel,
mm,
originally from Gary, Indiana. Shout out there. Now I've been in Texas. I cannot believe it. 20 years in August. It'll be 20 years.
wow.
And, I think in our last podcast, we talked about how I was married before, no shame.
Mm-hmm.
And I was offered a record deal, but I gave it up. I bypassed it for the sake of love.
Mm-hmm.
And so went through a really bad divorce. But then when I met my now soulmate partner, my person, he encouraged me because I really prayed and asked God to take the gift away.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm,
when we started dating, music as you do, come on in
I
the car and
do.
you start singing and all that. It's in your blood. And God is
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm not going to take it away, but I'm going to bless you with a soulmate that's going to encourage you and going to
Yeah.
support you. And so he did. And so what I would say is to those who are wanting to take this quantum leap, definitely I applaud you for being in that space to want to take the quantum leap and pursue your passion. With that said, you definitely want to plan it out. Definitely the financial part of it, because being an indie artist, you're paying for everything. If you don't have a record deal, you're paying for everything. You're paying to promote, you're paying for marketing. Now, I'm blessed to have that gift to be able to market and create different marketing campaigns and all of that. I'm doing the work. I've taken and studied several courses and watched a lot of YouTubes, but you want to think about all of that. It's all going to be on you, and you need that financial support. So that's what my husband and I was like. We thank God for having great paying corporate jobs that helped us pursue our
Mm-hmm.
passions and get it catapulted, and to the point where now we were able to make this. But definitely, I don't. I will never say don't pursue that passion, as long as you plan it out. And I know I keep saying the word plan, but plan it out. Make sure that you have at least a supplemental income that will help you to continue to pursue your passion, and then you have to do the work. Throughout the day, I'm watching YouTubes, I'm taking courses. So until I'm able to have a marketing team, then it's me. My son
Mhm.
also helps me out, but most times it's me putting out things on IG or social media. So I've been able to do that, and people were like, at your age, how are you able to do that? Because I love to learn, and I want to make sure, number one, I want to make sure it's going to look right, especially with my name on it. And so right for now, I am able to create, my marketing, the different campaigns, and post several times on IG and social media throughout the day. So yeah, so definitely encourage someone, continue that passion. I'm not going to discourage anyone not to pursue that passion, but just have a plan in place, and I'm sure there
Yeah.
are several YouTubes out there that will help you to make that decision and help you plan out everything that you need as an indie artist to make that quantum leap and go full
Oh,
time.
I
Yeah,
love that. I love that.
yeah.
But you know, I didn't like. I didn't like when people ask you at your age. What age? What age is that?
Come on now. I
What
know,
age is that?
yeah, I look at, we go to a lot of music venues in our city, and last year we were blessed to see Patti LaBelle
Mm.
and also Gladys Knight and Stephanie Mills, who they are older than us, but I'm like, I applaud them because
Mhm.
guess what? They're passionate about their passion. And at the age of 70 and hitting on the door of 80, they're still
Mhm.
doing it. And I,
Yeah.
I applaud them. But yeah, I get that a lot. Like, why don't you retire and watch and binge watch every day, or just, go to movie matinees and all that? No,
Like we
no,
dead. Are we
it's
dead? Are
that
you
part.
dead?
Exactly. And
Are
it's
you
like,
dead? I'm not dead.
right, right. And it's like, no, God bless me, number one through 50 with the name Melody,
Yeah.
and then bless me with the voice. And I want to, like we talked about earlier, before I go 8 feet under, I want
Mm.
it to be noted that I pursued my passion,
That's
you
right.
know. So
Mm.
yeah. So, it's like my husband heard this saying, and I'm like, oh, I love that. Basically, keep pursuing your passion at the youth of your old age. And I don't consider myself old, but in regards to millenniums,
There you go.
I am a baby boomer. I'll just put it out there. But he's like, let's do this thing at the youth of our old age.
That's right.
And it's like, because we have probably had more years behind us than we have ahead of us, not to be
Mhm.
morbid, you know what I mean?
I
And it's
know.
like, right now, let's enjoy life and enjoy our passions.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right. You know,
yeah.
and then a lot of people nowadays don't really know how long they have to live. These babies,
Th-
some of these babies are dying. Some children
exactly.
and some young boys and girls are dying in their teens and 20s. You
I
know,
know.
it's like you really don't know. So to be a baby boomer and to still be on earth, going after your
Yeah,
dreams and your goals, you are truly blessed.
yeah.
And you
Amen.
may have more years behind you than in front of you, but the years in front of you probably mean more to everyone around you than the years behind you. You just
Yeah,
don't know, and you just have
yeah.
to go for it and give it your all. And I commend you for it, and I
Thank you so
thank you
much.
for it because it's an inspiration. I'm not a baby boomer, so I'm the daughter
Okay.
of a baby boomer,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so I'm Generation X, where we're
All right.
latchkey kids. All of
Yep.
our like all of, most. My mom pursued her dream and made it.
Mm,
And then I was the latchkey
great.
kid,
Okay.
the only daughter that kind of
Yeah.
like, kind of was, kind of grow up by yourself kind of thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Oh,
But
I got it. Yep.
I'm thankful for it because I at 8 years old, I knew how to pay the bills.
See, exactly.
And
Yeah.
I knew what it
Yeah.
took to pay the bills, and I knew how hard a person had to work to actually pay the bills. Now, this new generation, we have to teach them that, and a
Yes.
lot of the parents aren't teaching this to their children, and that's going to hurt them in the long run. So people
Agreed.
like you, people like that come on my show, that have a dream, that go after their dreams, those are the kinds of stories that I'm going after because the children in the next generation they're watching YouTube and
Yeah.
they're watching you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right
Exactly.
now. My daughter's 22 years old and she
Mm.
loves music, like your music and Earth, Wind,
Yeah.
and Fire, and
Yeah.
she loves that. And that's all she
Mm.
listens to.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's like, there were times, and again, no regrets that I,
Mhm,
went on kind of like almost what, maybe 12 years without singing. I was in a depressed state,
mhm,
after the divorce. But, thankfully my husband now, like I mentioned earlier, encouraged me to pursue the passion. And then I started doing gigs here locally in the Houston area. And then
mhm.
for 3 years toured up in the Dallas area, performing there. But now I'm just, releasing music. And then by the end of the year, I will say that we're going to release an album. So we're working on that. But I'm just so excited now that I'm able to do it full time. And I'm
That's
just
wonderful.
so, so thankful that I'm able to do it full time. Yeah.
And I'm thankful for you. And now you're gonna
Thank
have to
you.
come back because you got two new
Oh,
things in there. You gotta
absolutely.
have to
No,
come
you're
back.
not getting rid of me that easy. No,
Oh,
no,
I
for
know.
sure.
I
For
don't get I
sure.
definitely, I don't want to.
Oh,
I
oh,
don't
no,
want to, definitely
it,
not. Thank you so much for being on the show, Melody. Well, how can people reach you? How can they find you? I know that we have your YouTube channel right there, and that's
mhm.
gonna be Melody Davis. And if you guys go ahead and just put in melodydavismusic.com, you'll find her, as well
Yeah,
as Davis Music, you'll find her. But is there
yeah.
like, do you have an Instagram, anything else?
Yeah, so it's real easy. Everything. IG, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok is all Melody Davis Music. My website is melodydavismusic.com. So again, Facebook, all social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, IG, Melody Davis Music, and my website is melodydavismusic.com.
Sweet. Thank you
Yep.
so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate what you do. And so I feel better about like jumping the fence and just like, I'm not looking
Uh
back. Okay.
no, congrats to you. You
Thank
you
you.
have
And
to.
you
If not
too.
now, when? Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited.
Hello. If not now, then when?
When? Yeah, that's my mantra. If not
That's
now,
right.
when? So
If not now,
right
then
now, the time is now. It's
the
the time
time
is
is
now.
now. Well,
Yeah,
make sure that you guys like don't be like the time is now and don't have nothing to kind of get no money. Make sure
that
you make
part.
a plan. Make a
And that
plan.
part.
Make a plan. But the time is now to consider going after your goals and your dreams. Definitely.
Yes.
Melody, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. And you guys, we're going to go ahead and put the link to the music in the description box below, as well as her IG and all of her information. So it'll be easy for you guys to find her. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we don't take you for granted because every single time that we do something, especially in music, we think of you. Thank you guys
Yes.
so much. And until next time, guys, don't forget to dare to be different.
Hey.
Hey.